It's another beautiful day and you're welcome to Headlines Nigeria on NITV. Reaching you from our Abuja studios in Nigeria, I am Grace Ukot with summaries of our national dailies. News, politics, business and sports are on the agenda for today, and we'll take a look at our first paper. Vanguard, Obasanjo Danjuma clash over Jonathan's VP. A major confrontation is brewing between the Lieutenant General Theophilus Danjuma-led Presidential Advisory Committee and former President Olusegun Obasanjo over what is considered as the latter's undue pressure on President Goodluck Jonathan on who becomes the nation's vice president. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo is said to be piling pressure on President Jonathan to look in the direction of Governor Murtala Nyako of Adamawa State, Governor Sule Lamido of Jigawa State, and Alhaji Mukhtar Shagari, the Deputy Governor of Sokoto State. All firms to sue federal government over PIB. Indications are that Shell Petroleum Development Company and other international oil companies have concluded arrangements to sue the federal government if it goes ahead to review existing production sharing contract agreement guiding the operations of deepwater oil blocks. Vanguard gathered that the move was a direct response to plans by the National Assembly to fast-track the enactment of new laws for the Nigerian oil and gas industry from the Petroleum Industry Bill. 84 billion naira fraud. Reps ask EFCC to probe NNPC, Shell, Total, others. The House of Representatives has recommended the immediate probe of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, Total Upstream, Shell Petroleum Development Company, and 25 other companies by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission over their failure to remit import duties worth over 84 billion naira to government coffers. This day newspaper, soldiers avert protest as Obasanjo visits Katsina. What would have resulted in an ugly incident was averted by soldiers and policemen in Katsina yesterday as former President Olusegun Obasanjo visited the city to condole the family of late President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua. The visit to the bereaved family had been shrouded in secrecy following security reports that Yar'Adua's supporters, who were angry with Obasanjo over his recent outburst on the health of Yar'Adua, were planning to hold a demonstration against the visiting former president. Power outage paralyzes operations at Murtala Mohammed Airport. Nigeria was thrown into a major embarrassment for hours yesterday as hundreds of passengers were stranded at the international wing of the Murtala Mohammed Airport, Lagos, following a power outage that paralyzed operations. Passenger facilitation was stalled while the airfield lighting was temporarily shut down, making it impossible for aircrafts to land or take off. CBN plans 25 billion naira capital for non-interest banks. The Central Bank of Nigeria is proposing a minimum core capital of 25 billion naira for establishing a non-interest bank in the country. The proposal was contained in the draft framework for the regulation and supervision of non-interest banks in Nigeria, issued by the CBN to banks for their comments, suggestions and input towards the final document. The CBN stated all applications must be submitted with the required documents, including a non-refundable application fee of 500,000 naira and deposit of minimum capital of 25 billion naira. Daily Independent, Obasanjo intensifies pressure on Jonathan. With former President Olusegun Obasanjo calling the shots, the odds favor Sokoto State Deputy Governor Mukhtar Shagari to become deputy to President Goodluck Jonathan. Obasanjo is piling up pressure and has cut short his visit to China to ensure his pick gets the nod of Jonathan. Ogbulafor back in court today over alleged 170 million naira fraud. People's Democratic Party National Chairman Vincent Ogbulafor will be arraigned at the Abuja High Court today by the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, which could not do so on May 4 because of the strike by the judiciary staff workers. He and two others are being charged for allegedly receiving 170 million naira bribe when he was National Planning Minister during the presidency of Olusegun Obasanjo. Tuku faults Nigeria's budgeting processes and practices. Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission has faulted the current budgeting processes and practices in the country. Chairman of the commission, Haman Tukur, said the faulty processes had contributed to the underdevelopment of the country as well as its economic woes over the years. ASU tasked federal government on public schools. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has challenged the federal government to show more commitment toward developing the country's public schools. ASU President Ukachukwu Awuzie, who was commenting on the 5.8 billion naira which the Federal Executive Council recently approved for purchase of books and instructional materials, bemoaned the poor state of public schools in the country. Now moving over to Punch newspaper, MEND threatens fresh attacks, gives Jonathan ultimatum. The movement for the emancipation of the Niger Delta has given President Goodluck Jonathan some weeks' grace to kickstart talks on resource control and other issues affecting the Niger Delta to avoid a fresh wave of attacks on oil installations in the region. Oni denies paying judges 3 billion naira for judgment. Governor Segun Oni of Ekiti State has denied bribing judges with a sum of 3 billion naira to get the majority judgment, which upheld his election victory at the State Election Petitions Tribunal. I'll put in my best for Nigeria, Jonathan. President Goodluck Jonathan on Sunday promised to do his best towards moving Nigeria forward. The president made the promise at separate receptions for delegations from Niger and Kano states, which were led by their governors on condolence and solidarity visits to the presidential villa, Abuja. And now moving over to politics. Punch newspaper, Lagos rejects proposed reduction of constituencies. Lagos State has rejected the proposed reduction of constituencies in the state, saying the state needed more constituencies. AC charges Jonathan to make impact on Nigerians. The Action Congress AC has challenged President Goodluck Jonathan to immediately get to work, saying he can help put Nigeria on the path to greatness despite the short time he has to preside over the affairs of the country. And on this day newspaper front page, Northwest insists on producing VP. The Northwest geopolitical zone, the constituency of the late President Umar Musa Yar'Adua, has maintained that it must produce the next vice president in the spirit of fair play and justice. Daily Trust, Danjuma led pact to Jonathan. You contest, we quit. Members of the Presidential Advisory Council, headed by former Defense Minister Lieutenant General Theophilus Yakubu Danjuma, have decided to resign from the council en masse if and when President Goodluck Jonathan decides to contest the 2011 presidential elections. And on business news, Vanguard newspaper, set to recapitalize capital market. The Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, has put to rest the controversial issues of recapitalization of capital market operations, saying it was absolutely necessary and a must for all issuing houses, stockbroking firms and registrars to further boost investors' confidence. Leadership newspaper, Nigerian stocks gain most worldwide. Nigerian stocks climbed to a 2-week high, sending the benchmark index to the biggest gain worldwide, as the approval of a company to buy bad bank debt outweighed concern over the worsening global debt crisis. The 213-member Nigerian Stock Exchange All-Share Index increased 1.4% to 27,503.36 at the close in the commercial capital Lagos, the strongest since April 21. And Punch newspaper, stock market, we are on standby to prevent another bubble, CBN SEC. New electricity tariff out this month, NEC. The administrator of the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, Malam Imamuddin Tauba, has said that a minor review of electricity tariff will be out by the 3rd week of May. And moving over to sports news, Punch newspaper, Adamu wants NFF to reconsider Amodu. Nigeria loses wrestling meets hosting rights. The Confederation of African Wrestling Association has withdrawn Nigeria's hosting rights of the African Wrestling Championship due to the country's poor preparation. This day newspaper, Senator backs bill on Amodu NFF rift. Lulu congratulates Owumi. President of the Nigeria Football Federation, Alhaji Sani Lulu Abdullahi, has congratulated Mr. Davidson Owumi on his election as chairman of the Nigeria Premier League. And that's it on this edition of Headlines Nigeria. Log on tomorrow for fresh headlines. Thanks for logging on.